Welcome to another episode of the latest with Maya. Today, I am so happy to be having a conversation with actress Toks Olagundoye. Tokes has been in so many different things, including the show Big Shots, and has guest starred in shows like Castle and The Rookie, which is one of my all-time favorite shows. You can currently see her in the Frasier reboot on Paramount Plus, which I love. Um, Thank you so much for being on my show. I'm very excited to be talking with you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so let's get started. So who has had the biggest impact on the person you have become?
Oh boy, that's a good question. Who
Mm,
has the biggest impact on
yeah.
me? Um, this is gonna sound odd, but probably my dogs. I've always had dogs, like since I was a kid. I had my own dog, from when I was 19 in college. Um, and I'm a bit of an introvert. So after I would do rehearsals and everything, everyone would go and hang out together, and I'd be like, I've got to go home and be with my dog, So
Yeah.
um, I I learned patience and compassion, and how to put another being before me, and responsibility. I mean, I learned so many things from my dogs, and there were times that, if I hadn't had them in my life, I don't know what I would have done, because they always know when you really need them, and they're so loyal. And, um, now being a mother, I know that I have most of my like foundation from having dogs, just from learning like all of those things that make a good parent, the patience and the paying attention and the understanding and the spending time and giving of yourself. So it's
Yeah.
strange, but my dogs, yes.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Yeah, my dog is my best friend and she's currently sleeping she's sitting right next to me sleeping. So
They're better than people. They really
yeah,
are.
they are.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd much rather hang out with my dog than go out.
I mean, honestly, if I at a certain point I realized, oh wait, I don't really love going to parties, so I stopped. But before that, when I would go to parties, if someone had a dog, I would be the girl in the corner at the party just hanging out with
Yeah.
the dog. Mhm.
Me
Yeah.
too. Yeah, my sister and I always joked in high school, and like I'd always be like, I want to go to a party just to experience it, but we always joked that I would go and I just walk inside and immediately walk right out.
Yeah.
Like probably.
Yeah, I would just kind of be counting the minutes, like,
Yeah.
hey, because I've been here for a long enough time, and like just
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not. It's okay if I know everyone, like if it's a small
Yeah.
thing and I know a bunch of people, but if it's something where I'm like going to someone's birthday and I don't really know anybody or something like that,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, so what song, no matter how many times you hear it, can always make you emotional?
Oh boy. Um, oh, there is a Dixie Chick song. There are actually three Dixie Chick songs that I can think of right now. Same. They always make me emotional. One is called I Believe in Love. The other one, I can't remember what the other two are called. Sorry, chemo brain. But one is a lullaby to the kid. Like it's the most beautiful thing. It's a lullaby. Oh, I can't remember what it's called, but it's a lullaby and it's a beautiful, beautiful song. And then there's another song called Top of the World. That is it's uh it's basically a it's from the perspective of someone who has like passed away.
Oh,
And it's a beautiful song. Their voices and their music for some reason really hit me. Oh, and I think now they're called the Chicks appropriately. They've taken the Dixie off, thankfully. So
yeah.
yeah, the Chicks.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the Chicks. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
they're great.
the yeah, they are. One of my all-time favorite songs of theirs is Gaslighter. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
Really, really brilliant.
they are. Yeah. Um, so what small things bring you joy on a daily basis?
Um, I mean, it's not small, but my son makes everything better. I mean, everything better. I'm always happy when I'm around him. He's my sunshine. A cup of tea. Cup of tea will always make things better for me, no matter what. If I have a good cup of tea, then that'll do it. Um, Other little things. Um, I love to see little moments, like if I'm out, little moments where someone else is experiencing joy, or does something kind for someone else. That always makes me really happy to see people like,
Yeah.
experiencing happiness, or kids, like that, those kinds of things. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. So I am pop culture obsessed and go in stages of shows that I cannot stop watching. Is there a show that you are currently obsessed with?
There is, and I'm embarrassed to say it, but it is The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I'm obsessed, obsessed right now. It's the most ridiculous thing. I think um, I because of two things. One, when you have a toddler, you don't get a lot of time to yourself. So I have like maybe an hour 3 times a week to watch TV. Um, and sometimes I don't even bother. And then my my attention span now, because of the chemo brain, is a little bit different. I have it when I need it, but most of the time I just want to rest my brain. So with reality TV, I don't have to like follow anything or pay attention. I could just like
Yeah,
be in the moment with it and have a good time. And if I forget something, that's fine.
yeah.
So yeah, that's my guilty pleasure right now.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I like shows that you can just kind of space out during, but then you if you space out, it's fine because you can still know what's going on,
Yeah,
when you come back, and then there's other times that I like watching a show that forces me to pay
yes.
attention and forces my mind not to wander.
Yeah. If it's
Um,
really good, I think the last time that I
yeah.
felt that way about anything was probably Squid Game. I
Mhm.
watched that real quick. Like we just like
Oh,
boom, boom, boom,
yeah.
boom, boom. That one was fascinating.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I have never seen that show.
It's it's a Korean show and
Yeah,
it's very violent. So it's not for everybody, but
yeah,
it's fascinating. It really makes you think about human beings and what they're like. It's fascinating. Yeah.
yeah.
I highly recommend to anybody who's not squeamish.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah, I've heard so much about it, but I've never watched it because again, I can't keep up with things that are subtitled because I get distracted and can't
Hmm.
um like read as fast as they talk. So
I
I
get that.
yeah.
Mhm. I totally can understand.
Yeah. Um, yeah, right now I've been watching Grimm and Chicago Med.
Oh, Chicago Med is so good.
Yeah.
I watched like the first, I think, 3 seasons of Grimm. It's a great show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what is your favorite way to procrastinate?
Oh boy. Probably doing puzzles. Or the New York Times, like the New York Times has an app which has like 6 different puzzles on it. I do that every day, and then I have like real puzzles and then like puzzles on like my iPad. I love to do like jigsaw puzzles. They just I could get lost in them.
I love that. Yeah. So what genre of movie would your life story be told as?
Oh boy. Um, Probably like a dramedy, like drama but with a lot of comedy in it.
Well, yeah. I love that. Yeah, so what 3 words best describe you?
Ooh, what 3 words best describe me? Sensitive, um, sensitive, hopeful. Hmm. Oh, sensitive, hopeful, and probably I don't know. There's so many words in my head right now.
Yeah.
Sensitive, hopeful, and determined.
Oh, I love those. Yeah, those are great. Um, so of all that you have accomplished so far, is there something you are most proud of?
In my personal or my professional life?
Uh, Either one.
I mean, it's going to sound cliche, but being a mother.
Mhm.
Being a mother is the best thing I have ever done in my entire life. Nothing makes me more proud than when I look at my kid. He's
Aw.
the best thing I've done. And I will continue to make sure he's the best thing I've done and put a good, sensitive, caring, happy man out into the world.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Um, so do you have a go-to show or movie when you just want to be comforted?
Oh boy. Friends, probably. I love that show so much.
Yeah.
I mean, I think my 2 favorite shows of all time are Friends and X-Files. So one of those.
Oh, oh, cool. Yeah, Friends is one of my all-time favorite shows.
So good.
So, yeah, it is. Yeah, I have a few that I like switch between and
What are
so
yours?
oh, okay, I actually have a lot, but they're like my 2 biggest ones are Friends and Will and Grace.
Uh-huh.
Um, and right now it's also the Tomorrow People that has been added into
What
the
is that?
rotation. It's so I actually it was it was only on for 1 season in I think 2013. But I just recently found it over the summer, and I just became completely obsessed with it. It's kind of like a sci-fi show. So it's about like these people with special abilities that are called the
Mm.
Tomorrow People. And then this um uh what's it called? I'm losing my words. Like company that is hunting them, trying to take away their powers.
So
And
kind of like an X-Men type thing. I love stuff
yeah,
like that. I
yeah,
love stuff like that. I'm gonna have to check that out.
yeah, it's
Mhm.
so good.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with it. So that's been ever since I found that, that's been a huge comfort show for me because it has a lot of my favorite actors in it.
Oh,
So
nice. That's
yeah,
cool. Have them all
yeah,
in one place.
yeah. Yeah. Um, so do you have any irrational fears?
Irrational fears. I don't I don't think I have irrational fears. I have a lot of fears, but I don't think they're irrational. I'm
Yeah.
trying to think. Oh gosh. I need to get my computer plugged in. I just realized I'm gonna have to have my husband bring my power strip. Sorry, everybody. I'm not well organized today. Um,
That's okay. I'm never well organized,
I
so
mean, honestly, since I had my kid, no organization. Um, hold on. I don't want to lose you. Strip up. It's in in the gym. He's in the gym, so hopefully he will get this. Just want to see how much battery I have. 9%. Okay. Hopefully he'll see that. Otherwise, I'm going to have to pop out for a second. But anyway, you were saying, I apologize.
oh, that's okay. No, I think I was just asking if you have any irrational
Oh, yeah, that's
fears.
right. Irrational fears. Oh, I do have I do have one that I mean maybe it's not irrational, but maybe it is. I don't anymore because I have to be able to hear my kid. But when I would sleep, I used to sleep with earplugs in because I was terrified of like a spider or something crawling into my ears.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. That would be. Mhm.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I I have a lot of fears too, and I feel like a lot of them can be irrational.
Well,
So,
that's the thing. It's like sometimes people think that some fears are irrational, but it's like, but are they really?
yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
it's like sometimes it
yeah,
makes a lot of sense, you know, that
yeah.
someone would be scared of
Uh,
certain things.
yeah, and I feel like as long as it makes sense to you, it doesn't have to make sense to somebody else.
Yeah, as long as it makes sense to you, but also as long as it's like not getting in the way of
Yeah,
other people, you
yeah,
know, like it's not like
yeah,
altering the way people have to be around you, then it's like,
yeah.
okay, you know.
Yeah. Definitely. Um, so what is something people are always surprised to learn about you?
Um, for some reason, people are always surprised to learn that I was born and raised in Nigeria. Um, that's something that people are surprised about for some reason. Um, and another thing is when I meet people from Norway or Sweden, I'll like bust into Norwegian. My mum's Norwegian, so I speak not fluently, but I speak enough to get by, and that surprises people a lot.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Um, if you had a day to yourself, what would it look like? Where would you go and what would you do?
Oh, a day to myself. It's been so long, I don't know if I could even imagine it. What would I do? Where would I go? I mean, I'd probably go and have a mani pedi. And then I would go and have, oh, hold on. Here we go. Power strip. Make sure that we don't fall off. All right, here we go. Let me plug myself in and then I'll continue with my dream day. Although I have to
Yeah,
say, you know, I a dream day these days is anything with my kid. I know it's so tacky, but it's just true. But
I love
yeah, I love to get a mani pedi. I really do. That's something that I stopped getting for a while, because I didn't have the time that I used to do every week. Um, and then I'd probably get like a 1 hour foot massage. I love a foot massage. Um, and then I'd go and have like a chef's like 12-course meal at some fantastic restaurant. I love food, but I love like a several course meal by a good chef,
that.
especially if it's like um, something to do with Japanese food. And then I would probably come home and get into bed and do a puzzle for like hours. Just do puzzle after puzzle after puzzle,
Oh, I love that. That sounds like a great day.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so I love inspiring and motivational quotes. And this week, my favorite quotation is actually something that my mom always says, and especially when my sister and I were younger, she'd always say it. She'd always say, "Let your freak flag fly."
Yes.
Yeah, and that's always stuck with me. Um, is there a quotation that has inspired you lately?
Um, I mean, I'm always because I read a lot of stuff about Buddhism, so I'm always coming across like these fantastic quotes, like, that I'm like, oh yeah. But my favorite quote of all time is the time is always um the time the time is always right to do what is right. It's like the sign off on my um email. It's Martin Luther King, and I believe that. I believe that
Yeah.
doing the right thing is always the right thing to do, as hard as it may be.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah, that one's great. I love that one.
Yeah. Oh, it's the time is always right to do what's right. That's it. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Timo brain. See, I'm
Yeah.
getting there. I'm getting there. It's
Yeah.
coming back.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of times I like end up repeating myself a lot because I and my um yeah, my family is always like you just said
Yeah.
that.
We know. I There was a day my sister was visiting, and I went through this whole story, and like literally 5 minutes later, I did it again. She's like, "You literally just told me this whole story," and I was like, "It's
Yeah.
like, oh no, that's how." I was wondering. I was like, "How many times do I do that?" But it's not someone who would tell me. I just did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, actually, one of my favorite stories is um uh, a few years ago, I was actually in the hospital with an infection in my brain, and so that was when like my memory got really bad, and I
Mhm.
started repeating myself a lot. And I remember there was this one time my mom was talking with my doctor about it, letting him know, and he was just silent. And then he looked at her and he was like, "You do realize we had this exact same conversation this morning?" And that is like one of my favorite stories. I remember my mom telling me that, and both of us just could not stop laughing. So,
Poor doctors. They probably have to be very patient with a lot of us.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So my mom and I were like, whose memory is really that
Right.
bad?
It's like, "You can't criticize me. You've done it
Yeah,
too."
yeah. Exactly. Yeah, so that is yeah, one of my all-time favorite stories that I just love telling because it just always makes me laugh.
Yeah, especially since it's ironic because
Yeah,
she's the one who's, like, supposed to be keeping track of everything while
yeah.
you're ill, and it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Um, well, it was so much fun talking with you. I've been a fan of yours for so long, and I've been wanting to interview you for a really long time. So this just means the world to me. Thank you.
Oh, that's so that means a lot to me coming from you because you are very accomplished. You're a very, very impressive young lady. You really are.
Thank
So
you.
thank you for having me and thank you for enjoying what I do. That makes me feel really good. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, I so appreciate your taking the time, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. And that's a wrap on today's edition of The Latest with Maya.